Ooh, wow. 15 years. Happy anniversary to the 2009 Lincoln cents. Now, in case you guys had forgotten, they made four new designs in 2009, signifying the importance of Abraham Lincoln and his professional life from his birthplace, that's the coin with the log cabin, to the formative years, growing up as a young man. And you also have the presidency and the other one. All right. Um, Four designs that were widely collected. And even to this day, I get more messages 15 years later about 2009 Lincoln cents. You know what people are asking me? I found this neat little coin, from 2009. It looks nothing like the other coins I've seen or the other Lincoln cents with the memorial back or the shield back. What is it? And it's so funny. It's so funny. Like, this was one of the most important releases 15 years ago. And it's crazy. It's crazy how many years have gone by since this had come to fruition in our coinage, which eventually led to a crossover to the coin that you know of today, the Lincoln Shield set. So we're going to talk a little bit about this coin. Is it worth searching for? Is it worth any money? You're going to look at the screen and say, dang, look at that thing. $2,700. Yes, there was an example that sold on eBay a day ago for $2,750. Now, there is a little bit of a caveat. There's a couple different ways where you can monetize off these coins, and you need to know about it. The first one, and only because we're talking about the ones on screen, are the examples that are graded. So either that's with PCGS or NGC. The big reason why that these are so valuable is that they grade out at the top pop. They are at the top ceiling level type of level of grading. They're the finest known coins and specimens to exist in a series where many millions of these were produced. This was not a short series, guys. They were pitching and promoting this, the U.S. Mint, by the way, the series. And it has become one of the most kind of recognizable coins out there. But yeah, 15 years ago. So we have this 2009 formative years. That's where Lincoln's sitting on the log. It sold for $2,700. It's a gold shield mint state 68. I think that's the top grade for that coin. But even looking at that one example, it should give a lot of you guys some perspective on what the ceiling could be for these coins. And that is a premium example, ladies and gentlemen, of how you could really, really make it happen with these coins. Now, are they all going to be big hitters like this? No, obviously not. There's a very large distance between rock bottom, which is, let's just go ahead and say face value, to what this one coin sold for $2,750. Look at the next coin on the list, which grades half a point lower at 67 plus. Same coin, same date, $750. Okay, you got to kind of respect that because, that's showing that this one particular coin has a little bit of a safety net. Heck, if you can't earn that Mint State 68 top level coin, it's okay to have a 67 plus because they sell for many hundreds of dollars like that one there. So they also did proof coins. And keep in mind, I don't know if a lot of you forgot this, but the proof Lincolns for 2009, they actually turned back the clock and made them in copper. We hadn't seen that since 1982, a long time ago. So you have to go back over 20 years to realize the last known copper cent. It was just, that was just another magical thing. Now, the sets in themselves, the 4 coin sets, are not particularly rare. This one individual had 50 sets that they had sold for $600. So, they're worth what they're worth. What, 12, $13 a piece or something like that. And that's kind of the norm. Um, and then as we go down, we begin to see some of the other types. Mid-State 67, 2009D. This is the early childhood. This is the log cabin reverse. That one sold for some amount of money, I'm sure a few $100. There's still bankrolls of these out there. Um, Here's a full $25 face of the 2009 P formative years that sold for $275. That's over 10 times face value. All right. That's all part of the what I call sealed equity conversation, where sealed bank boxes, and I always tell people this, if you can afford, if you're kind of like investing on a lower level, if you can afford a box or two of brand new coins for the year, buy them up, sock them away, because they're going to be worth money in the future. Kind of like how this one here is sold for $275. Um, but you're going to see that there's quite a bit of value here, from all, each one to the other. Here's another $25 bank box of the LP4s. That's the presidency for $250. Again, that's 10x your money there. Here's a Denver mint box of presidencies for $250. Someone actually has a toned set of these things, probably all artificial. They look the part. Sold for, I would imagine a pretty good amount of money. Here's another professional life. This is the LP3. This was showing President Lincoln standing in front of, I believe, either the White House or the Capitol building, one of the two. So that is a full 50 roll box, $25 face, $235, and the list goes on and on. I mean, there's even folks, selling toned coins, which after 15 years, given the right environment in which these are stored in, you can earn yourself some pretty nice toning. So if they're in a small holder, a different holder, um, that doesn't have the best materials, they're not acid free, they're not archival safe, they're going to tone coins, and that's generally how you get results like this. And that one, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is graded by Annex. All right, who is known to be one of the more stricter graders out there today. And this one is a Proof 2009S. It's copper, so it's going to react a little bit easier and quicker to some of those non-archival type of storage containers. Um, and then there are people selling the full 4 coin set of the Proof coppers for $200. A very attractive, set. It even has what looks and it appears to be, the Lincoln commemorative, the later commemorative, the modern one. So yeah, there's a lot to love here. This is actually a very popular set among collectors, and there's a lot of liquidity here. You see that we've jumped through six, seven, $8,000 worth of stuff throughout the first 15, 20 listings. So there's a lot of value here with these coins. So you just need to know what to look for. Am I telling you guys to go out there and grade every single one of these that you see? Absolutely not. Grading these things is quite difficult. It's very dicey because grading companies, when you think you have a coin that's at the very top for the grading scale, they are going to be extremely tight on the grade. All right, they got to make sure it's worth the while and worth that kind of level. But yeah, I mean, like this one here, this is kind of like one of the big ones I love talking about. All of the double thumb varieties on the 2009 Philadelphia formative years coins. Those are the ones with Lincoln sitting on the log. All right, that particular one is the most highly coveted boxes and coins to look for. The U.S. Mint even came in and sold a lot of bankrolls of these here, and that's what you see here with this one. 2009 and 2010 P&D Lincoln penny roll sets, LP1 through LP5. LP5, by the way, is the 2010 first year Shield reverse sets. So those double thumb varieties, and there's some FS listed ones, Favaz Stanton, Cherry Picker's Guide varieties of those coins that you could look for. Um, but yeah, this is a coin. This is a series, ladies and gentlemen, that has aged gracefully. There's a lot of value here. The Proof sets are worth at the very least $10 a piece. The market supports it. The rolls are where you're kind of like, that's where your gold rush is going to be. This is a very fun and exciting compilation of coins. If you were looking to jump into anything where it could have some chance of bearing fruit, this is, ladies and gentlemen, one of those things that you could dive into right now to gain an understanding of not only Lincoln Cents as a series, but also the numismatics hobby in general. All right, because you got to start somewhere. Might as well start with something pretty interesting. All right, so let's go ahead and talk numbers because you got to know how much these coins are being sold for, graded. So we're on PCGS.com. We are actually in the price guide section of this particular website, and we are at what they call the Type 5 Bicentennial series, which is the 2009 dated coins with the 4 different reverses. And you're going to see over here, when you look at the top grades, you're going to see the biggest numbers. And those, ladies and gentlemen, are going to be your big hitters. So even though there's no 68 grade on the early childhood life, doesn't necessarily mean that there are no examples. Usually when there are examples that do exist or maybe have some sort of sales record, they'll go ahead and put in the price values in here. So what we do know so far is that the Lincoln Presidency 2009 Denver's in a mid-state 68 has a price guide value of $6,000. Let me repeat that. $6,000 for a coin that is just now celebrating its 15th anniversary. Let that sink in a little bit. That's a lot. That's a lot of guapo there for this coin. And that also signifies the true potential of this series as it begins to age longer, because a lot of these coins did circulate, and a lot of the premium coins are still stuck in those BU rolls. But we're talking a very microscopic percentage in which these coins can possibly ever touch a top pop grade. The only way you'll know is to look at every single one with a fine-tooth comb and a really good magnifying glass and send it off to PCGS. But you got to make sure that you send out your best 10 or 20 of them. You will be investing money in grading. Even if you lose out, you'll know exactly where you need to be. But also look at the next line before it. With any coin where you're dealing with a top pop grade and big dollar values, you have to look at the next grade lower. Well, what happens if I don't hit a mid-state 68? Does a 67 pay anything? And the big reason why I ask you that is you have to know kind of like where that fine line in the sand is drawn. You want to be able to, at the end of the day, score, if not the top grade, where that's worth many thousands of dollars, but the next one down from that, that you could comfortably go out and sell those pieces back out on the market and recoup your money. This coin has a great safety net, ladies and gentlemen. It just shows right there. If you don't get a 68, you could still sell a coin that grades, at the very most, a grade point lower for $200 to $300. Those things mean a lot. And you have to look at it from a very subjective business view of this. You have to be able, if you're not going to make that top pop grade, you got to make sure that you make that next line there and make your money back. So that way you could get out of it lean and clean. All right, lean and clean. That's kind of like my new motto. Here is population count. So we are still on PCGS.com, but I had changed over to the population report, and you're going to see Type 5, Bicentennial, Mid-State, not proof. We're not going to look at that. And then you're going to take a look down the line at these numbers here at the very end, which signifies how many examples of that one coin graded at that level. Like when we look at this 2009 early childhood, that's the log cabin design, and you go all the way to the right, there were two examples that graded in mid-state 67 plus, and 58 of them graded out at just regular mid-state 67. So, you're going to go on down the line. You're going to examine some of these numbers here. There's a pop 1 in 68. It's very difficult. That's why I'm telling you. You can't just send one coin to the grading company in the hopes that you're going to pop at a 68, because there's only one out of the many hundreds of millions that were produced of that one coin. Look at the largest number. A lot of them kind of fall into that crack of a mid-state 65. Those coins aren't worth no more than about $5-10. That's where you need not, you can't be in that little area right there, because you will be losing a ton of money. I guarantee it. So you have to also put into perspective these population numbers. If you completely ignore this and you go and send your coins off to PCGS, you will lose. Because guess what? If you didn't know a mid-state 66 had 1,402 examples graded at that level, thereby making it a $25 coin, you will lose. Because the average price to grade a coin at PCGS is going to be right around $25. So you need to know your cost basis on everything. You need to know what your kind of like exit strategy is going to be when you're trying to recoup your money. Because this is something that, ladies and gentlemen, while the rewards are incredibly high, the fails are incredibly backbreaking. So I want you to just kind of let you guys know that's what's at stake. I know there's a heavy kind of conversation when it comes to secondary grading and that secondary market as a result. And I'm telling you, you got to take it seriously. You got to just, you have to be incredibly hard on yourself when it comes to grading standards. And that's the only way that you'll be able to grow in this hobby, is by recognizing that. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Happy 15th anniversary to the 2009 Lincoln Cents. A lot of big money here. If not for the grading part of it, the sealed inventory is quite pricey today. If you do come across these coins on the secondary market, like at a coin shop or a show, or maybe you know someone locally that's selling these things and they're not selling it for the true potential of the market, you could really do a number on these and, one way or the other, make some cash off of it. So yeah, it's incredible. So thank you guys for tuning in on this video. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. And yeah, this is pretty fun. So yeah, go ahead and hunt these things down. It's great to put a collection together. Look for some of those varieties. There are dozens of them for the 2009 Philadelphia Formative Years design. And yeah, really, really enjoy it, because, the longer that we go and distance ourselves from the release of these coins, a lot of those examples that exist in circulation are just going to continue to get more beat up and beat up and beat up. And now, while a lot of people are injecting, they're opening up and throwing out all of the coins so that way they can cash in for face value. That does exist as well, because it's a newer coin. Yeah, I mean, this is a great jumping on point if you wanted to understand one of the most popular series, and you kind of get to know how to look for varieties. There's even varieties on the log cabin scent as well. That's worth mentioning, because people do pay, a couple $3 to $5 for some of those coins as they put together a full attributed set. So yeah, that's it. This is a very fun little short series to put together. 4 coins, PND, 8 coins total, and then you have another 4 proof. That's it. That's all I wanted to talk about in this video. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Enjoy the hunt. Welcome back to 2024, and I will see you guys on the next coin video. Peace.